Hello and welcome back YouTube to Snowfog Outdoors. Alright, this video is going to be an update, where I've been, what I've been doing, future plans, and I have a couple little leather projects I'd like to share with you that I recently did. Okay, so where in the world has Snowfog been? Well, I'm going to try to explain it to you the easiest way possible. Okay, every now and then you got to do a little purge and cleansing of social media at some point, or else you go completely insane. That was one part of it. I did continue to watch videos and uh, comment, and not comment all the time, but I would watch videos and, give the old thumbs up and stuff like that. And then at one point, I broke away from social media for a while. What initially happened was, most of you don't know, but when we lived in New York, we pretty much had a cat rescue. We would take in feral kittens that were born and left to die. We would take cats that our patients could no longer take care of when we were doing home care in New York as nurses. Some family members couldn't keep their cats, so basically we ended up having a cat rescue thing going on. At the time when we moved, we had upwards of 25 to 27 cats. I know, right? Like 3 were only allowed in the house because of certain issues they had, either with health issues or psychological issues. They didn't do well with other cats, whatever the case may be. The rest of the gang was given a room in our house in New York that they could call their own, and they had access to a big caged play area outside. Excuse me. So then we bought this place down here, and we were like, what are we going to do? So long story short, we had our contractor come down here when he came down with Mandy right after we bought the house to do some stuff, and he built a big cat house outside with a big penned in area for the cats. There was a doggy door between the house and the big pen that they could go in and out and use their cat boxes and food access and, shelves and, stuff you do for cats. So we built that, and then we ultimately hired a gentleman with a huge van, which he modified to accommodate the cats to get them down here. So they all came down here. They adjusted well to their new habitat, and we kept our 3 inside cats in the house. So over the last year, we lost a couple due to, illness or, old age, because, we've had these cats upwards of 15 years, some of them. So they were getting up there in age. And we lost a couple to like a respiratory infection, whatever. So we decided that after moving here and our place and property being so secluded, that we're like way away from the road, and our road only maybe sees 3 to 4, at the most 5 cars a day, but we're way back from the road, and we have all this property. So we talked about transitioning the cats a couple at a time to being outside and still having access to go into their comfy area. We would leave a door open to the outside cage, and they could progressively go in and out and get used to being, outside in the yard, because we wanted the cats to finally be able to be cats. Excuse me. Hope I'm not getting the cold. So we ultimately wanted them to be cats and be able to be outside and chase birds and, all the good stuff that cats do. So we started right around May, last part of April, May. We started transitioning cats a couple at a time. Prior to that, we had already had two cats out and comfortably living in the carport out of the weather because they were ill. Got them back on their feet and they stayed out because they didn't wander off. They didn't go anywhere. So we started bringing a couple out at a time. It was going great. They'd go during the day, on the property where we could see them, and we would call them and we trained them with food and treats and everything. So they stayed by the house at night. They slept in accommodations in the carport. Um, One day I got up and I didn't see one of my cats. And I figured, well, they go off for the day and do things. So long story short, um, two cats came up missing. Mandy and I freaked. We went through the neighborhood and knocked on every door. We searched every inch of the woods, the property, you name it. Could not come up with them. But cats are known to wander off and come back months, years later. Still placed food out, contacted the local animal control officer to let her know what happened. So if she got any calls about cats, she knew where to bring them. Called the local humane societies, told them what happened. We were in constant contact with all the authorities and everything. Still no cats. One of the cats that had been out due to illness, he'd go stay at the neighbors and eat, and he'd wander around. He was older. He was like probably 13, 14. He had he had IBS, cat IBS. So he had to have medicine, and he just liked to be outside, and so we kept him out and gave him medicine, and he thrived. He did well. Never came home. So we thought maybe there was a predator. So I put trail cams out. Nothing. Talked to the authorities again about coyote activity. Not so much in my area. You can hear them, but they're far off. So I still had one cat that rarely ever left the carport because she was just neurotic. She didn't like to walk on grass or anything. Mandy was up one morning before sunrise to have her coffee and just sit outside and enjoy it. Now, mind you, this took place from like May to early August. She heard this ungodly noise and then heard the scream of a cat. She didn't know what it was, where it was, but she did hear the cat get taken. Now, put yourself in her shoes. Very, very traumatic, very devastating. She's still haunted by it every day. She immediately came in, got me. I got up without even thinking, grabbed my pistol, chambered around, went outside. She thought it got one of the other cats, but when I went out and looked, I'd found the other cat, put it in my gear dome, shut the door. Ultimately had taken the cat that never left the carport. She must have, got up and decided to wander out and, God, excuse me, see what was going on because Mandy was up and got taken. After a very short investigation and search on the internet, we had lost 4 cats to a great horned owl. Truly awful. I can't imagine being the one that had to hear it. She couldn't see anything. She ran out there, tried to get the bird or whatever she thought it was to drop the cat, let go. Right after it happened, we again, comb the woods and roads and nothing. So that took a big toll on us. Took a big toll on Mandy, especially for having to witness it. Um, so it was a really hard time for us. Um, Now the cats that I do bring out are out during the day only, um, to do their romping and playing, whatever, and immediately go into the cat house at night. Um, I have two out right now that, we keep in one of the outside rooms at night, and then they get up and they come out in the morning. Excuse me. So Minnie continued to work through this very difficult time, and like I said, she dreamt about it. She woke up hearing the cat screaming and whatever. And it may not be traumatic to some people, but when you're an animal lover, and our pets are like our children, it's like somebody snatching your kid, and there's nothing you can do. So I told her, you know what, take a leave of absence from work, and we're just going to go do whatever we want to do. She did, and we went and we had a blast. Even if it was just going out shopping for the entire day or going for rides, and we just went and lived. We went and did stuff and did stupid shit and crazy shit, and nothing illegal or anything, but we spent money like we're millionaires, and we paid our bills, of course, but we just went and had a good time. So yeah, that's it took a big part of my summer away from me with all the stuff that happened, and still having to deal with everyday things and stress and other parts of your life that you have to pay attention to. And the rest of our New York family moved down here in the meantime, so we were helping them get their house and everything ready, and just I didn't feel like being on YouTube. Some pretty traumatic events, and I just couldn't take it. And with the owl taking the cats that were out, we had two more pass of old age and natural causes. So it's been tough. It's just been tough, and kind of figured when I told you guys, you'd understand, and I just had to back out and get away and think. So, but I'm back, and plus I've gotten a lot of new gear. The thing I did wrong was, I got a lot of my gear in New York, and it was suited towards cold weather and snow and stuff like that. And I started going through my gear and my packs, and I'm like, this isn't going to work for me. I'm in a different environment. I'm in a different area. I need different stuff. So I've picked up a lot of extra gear that is more suited to me. And when I was purchasing gear, I was going by somebody else's recommendation. I mean, nothing wrong with people doing reviews and doing videos and stuff, but I didn't think of my own needs and what kind of gear I would need. So a lot of the gear I had purchased, prior to moving down here, and even when I first moved down here, was just on a whim because somebody said it was great and it worked up, like this and like that, and I go to use it here and it's just not suitable. So I've gotten a lot of gear. I'm trying to get a day pack together now, and an overnight or extended stay pack. I did have them, and I did go out and use them, but they just weren't right for me. So we'll be showing that to you, and all the good stuff. So yeah, that was the thing I did wrong, was just buying gear at the spur of the moment, or just on somebody else's word and not thinking about my own needs. So you'll be seeing that shortly. Like I said in my last video, you know, it's cold down here. We're going to be down to like 29 tomorrow night. And the days are, you know, in the 50s and 60s, you know, some highs are 70s. But I can actually, you know, with fall being here, the leaves are gone and everything is bare, and I can see all the way into my backwoods. And, you know, I'm going to get out. And I got out last year and did a lot, but I just didn't film it, you know. But this year, I'll do some filming, and we'll go through my packs and my kits and my gear, and, you know, show you what I'm using down here. Which brings me to a couple Leathercraft projects I did get done. And I, you know, in the meantime, over the summer, I was working on the file knife and some other knives, you know, that I did videos and showed you guys. I think that was about it that I really worked on. I was just did a lot of knives this summer. Some other Leathercraft. I do have a couple other ones, but I don't have them with me now. Pouches and stuff that I'll show you guys. I don't think I've ever showed them to you. I'll have to go through my thing out in my gear dome and see. And if I haven't showed them to you, I'll show them to you in another video. But a lot of people were asking about the if I was going to make a sheath for the antler handled knife. Well, I did make a sheath for it. I made a little neck sheath for it. Really cool. That's the little stained antler knife that I made. This was, the knife part was made out of one of those edge trimmer blades that my buddy Chris at Carolina Chris Outdoors first did his knife video on. This little sucker is sharp, I gotta tell you. But yeah, this is a sheath I made for it. I just did a wrap stitch on it for a change, and it's welted all the way around. So yeah, nice little neck knife, leather sheath, little neck here. I got paracord on here with a breakaway on it. But the one thing that and I don't even know how I came up with it, but I'm a big dangler girl on a leather sheath. So I wanted to make something that could be able to carry items. So this is an EDC. Well, actually, this one is set up for a Bushcraft EDC dangler. What it is just a leather dangler, a leather, you know, belt dangler. And I've put in 2 loops. This one is to hold chapstick, and this one over here obviously is to hold a ferro rod. And then I've put a ring down here so you can attach. I got a striker on there. I got a little flashlight, the Streamlight Nano, and I got some duct tape. I mean, these aren't the items I'm going to keep on here for Bushcraft, but they're just a couple of the items. But this here, I put Chicago screws. So you could undo this, you know, take the Chicago screws off, and put on one of these cable key rings. So if you wanted to turn this into like a regular EDC dangler, you could put some of your everyday carry tools on here and just click it on your belt and go to work. I did Cobra weave some bank line on here. So I think it's a neat little kit. I call it my Bushcraft EDC dangler. But it can be used for regular EDC. It doesn't have to be used for Bushcraft. It's made out of veg tan, and it's dyed dark brown. I haven't sealed it yet. I got to put some beeswax and some coconut oil on there to seal it. Well, let me know what you think. If it's something that you think, you know, would be handy dandy to have or whatever, but you can undo these Chicago screws and put in a new type of ring, or, you know, whatever you want. I think the most suitable thing to use would be one of these aircraft cable tie key things. But I will most likely keep this as a bushcraft EDC. I got a couple more tools I just got to put on there. So when it's complete, you know, we'll show it in use out in the bush and take another look at it. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. I thought it was pretty cool. So let me know what you think. So I've rambled on longer than I wanted to. This video is already 20 minutes. So that's where I've been. Trying to be sane and keep Mandy sane and, you know, go have some fun and, you know, just live. So stay tuned. Like I said, I got some giveaways coming up, and I'm going to be putting kits together and bags together, and I'll be sharing those with you, and we'll be getting out in the woods together very soon, I promise. We got to test out them knives that I got and do some cooking and some fire making. So yeah, stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. Snow Fog is back, and back with a vengeance. So stay tuned, and until the next one, behave yourselves. I'll see ya. Thanks for watching.